أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. مداد يا سيد المدد، لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear Sheikh Shamil in absentia, and my fellow Muridis, brothers and sisters in Islam. Firstly, I wish to extend a very warm welcome to Sheikh Shamil from all of us, and we welcome Sheikh back into our midst, inshallah. And may Allah SWT keep Sheikh with us for many more years and keep us with Sheikh Shamil for many more years, until the end of our days. So I'd like to say shukran to Sheikh Shamil for recommending that we study this particular work, and it's titled Prophetic Guidance, and it is prophetic guidance for every moment. This serves as a beautiful reminder to ourselves and others of the prophetic way in every state, alhamdulillah. A reminder is good. The remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala benefits the believer, alhamdulillah. We'll start with some background information. Today is just going to be an introduction of the author and a little bit of, we just touch on the basics of what we can expect from it. So we'll start with the author, and it's always good to know from whom we take our knowledge from. And the author of this illustrious book, Sheikh Umar Hussain Al-Hatib Al-Ansari Al-Awsi, was born in 1969, 1390 Hijri, in the city of Tarim in Yemen's Hadramaut Valley. MashaAllah, as the name indicates, Sheikh Umar Hussain Al-Hatib belongs to the Hatib tribe, who are direct descendants of the Al-Ansar of Medina. Now the Al-Ansar of Medina, they were the people who opened their hearts and their homes to give security to the Muslims when they had to migrate from Makkah to Medina. Alhamdulillah. With this in mind, we'll take a step back into history to give us a better insight and a greater appreciation of the lineage of the author, Sheikh Umar Hussain Al-Hatib, inshallah. The Hatib family traces its roots all the way back to the great Sahabi Abad bin Bishr al-Ansari radiallahu anhu, who was sent to Hadramaut Tarim in Yemen by Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. So there we see our connection is alhamdulillah. Abad bin Bishr was known for his intense love for the Quran, and this love was a reflection of his love and devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Islam. Abad ibn Bishr radiallahu anhu heard the Quran for the very first time when he was just a young man. Some say he was 15, some say he was 18 years old. This was before the Hijrah. And since the very first time that he heard the Quran being recited, it was recited by a Qari at that time who used to recite very beautifully, and this was Mus'ab ibn Umayr radiallahu anhu. And when this young man heard the Quran, he just fell in love with the Quran. He was so captivated that from that day onwards he used to repeat the verses of the Quran continuously until for the rest of his life. This awe and this captivation gave him, the Sahaba called him the friend of the Quran. This is the name that he was renowned for, to be the friend of the Quran. We usually we say the Quran has been our friend in our heart. He was the friend of the Quran, subhanAllah. Once when he was on duty and standing guard, he decided to spend his time in Ibadah, because everything seemed calm and peaceful. However, the enemies were lurking in the background and they were just waiting for an opportunity, but it just shows his devotion and his love for the Quran. So he decided he's going to perform 2 rak'ah salah, and he's going to obviously recite the Quran. And then obviously the enemy saw the opportunity and they shot the first arrow. And he just removed it and he continued with his salah. And they shot the second arrow. And on the third arrow, Again, it pierced his body, but he continued. He went into the cool, he went into sujood. And subhanAllah, only when he came into sujood did he stretch out his hand to his companion that was sleeping next to him. It was Amr bin Yasir, radiallahu anhu. And he alerted him to what's happening. And then when he was asked, Bishop, why didn't you wake us up? Why didn't you let us know? So he said, no, subhanAllah, I was busy reciting the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I could not let there be any interruption in the word of Allah. Subhanallah, that was his devotion, his awareness. It's just a different level of awareness of when we are busy with ibadah, subhanallah. So, yes, alhamdulillah, once also the Prophet arose for tahajjud, and the Prophet was in the quarters of Aisha radiallahu anha, and her quarters was adjoining to the masjid. And then the Prophet heard a sweet recital of the Quran, and the Prophet asked Aisha radiallahu anha, is that the voice of Abad ibn Bishop? And she said, yes, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam lifted his hands and he said, oh my Lord, forgive him. SubhanAllah, those are one of the companions that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to ask for. So this is the connection of the author that we are going to. In another narration, Aisha radiallahu anha mentions that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there are three people amongst the Ansar whom no one could excel in virtue. And they were Sa'ad ibn Mu'ad, Usayd bin Hudayr, and Abad ibn Bishr radiallahu anhu. And then the author, so from this we learn that the Hardik family is an Al-Ansar family. So the Al-Ansar family, they produced scholars in every generation, alhamdulillah. And Sheikh Umar Hussain, through the grace of Allah, preserves this tradition, alhamdulillah. So we'll go back to the author now. So from a young age, Sheikh Umar Hussain al-Khatib studied under numerous scholars. His teachers were the most prominent scholars of the city. He memorized the Holy Quran and learned Tajweed at the feet of the illustrious scholar Habib Ali al-Mashhur bin Habib, who is a descendant of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, through the lineage of Hazrat Hussain radiallahu anhu. Sheikh Umar Hussain al-Khatib has travelled to the east and the west, teaching people the prophetic way. Amongst others, Sheikh Umar is a mufti in the Shafi madhab, and currently is a senior lecturer at Darul Mustafa Itabeen in Yemen, a city which has been a stronghold of the Sunnah from the earliest days of Islam. In addition to his zeal for knowledge, he has a deep passion for calling others to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and spreading the teachings of Islam. Thus, when Habib Umar bin Hafiz rahmatullahi alayhi returned to the city of Tarim after a term of exile, Sheikh Umar Khatib became attached to and spent many years in the service of his Sheikh and mentor, Sheikh Habib Umar bin Hafiz. Sheikh Umar Hussain Khatib strives to perfect his following of the prophetic example in every way, and encourages others to do the same. His work, The Prophetic Guidance for Every Moment, clearly echoes these sentiments. This book focuses on the etiquette of the prophetic example and guides us in implementing it in our lives. In the words of the author, and I quote it directly, he says, it has been compiled with the intention of serving the prophetic sunnah and spreading the noble character of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is hoped that this work will help Muslims to incorporate the prophetic program into their daily lives. They may then come to love following his path in every step, and in so doing attain the love of Allah, which is promised in Allah's sayings in Surah Al-Imran, verse 31. Say, O Messenger of Allah, if you love Allah, then follow me, and Allah will love you. They may also attain the pleasure of Allah and the companionship of the best of creation, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who said, a person is with the one he loves. He who loves somebody naturally imitates them and follows their example. What makes this book especially beautiful is the fact that almost everything comes from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in the case that it is not, it is backed up by its authority and its evidence. In conclusion, we'd like to make another special mention between the city of Tarim and Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. The city of Tarim is often referred to as a Siddiqi city in honor of Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, the first Khalif of Islam. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu made 3 du'as for the city of Tarim as its citizens stood with him during the Ridda Wars after the Prophet ﷺ was veiled from the dunya. It was at a time when some rebellious people had left certain aspects of Islam. For example, they left the paying of zakat. However, the people of Tarim remained 100% steadfast in the practice of Islam. And this pleased Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu immensely, and he was inspired to make 3 du'as for him. And the first du'a was that may Allah allow the city to remain inhabited until the final hour. And what I've heard from Sheikh Abdul Rahman Khan, he was saying that there are many records in the Arabian Peninsula that is now it's without people. There's now it's desolate. But Tarim is one of those places that remain inhabited. And the second dua is that may Allah place barakah in the waters of Tarim. And therefore till this day, no matter how severe a drought that region may have experienced or experience, Tarim always has water. And the water is known to be sweet. And it is said that in some wells, the sweetness of the water resembles the sweetness of the water of Zamzam, subhanAllah. And the third dua that he made was, may Salihin and Awliya grow forth from the city of Tarim, in the same way that plantation sprouts from being watered. Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect and preserve our Salihin and our Awliya and make them a benefit to the Ummah. May we too drink from the blessed water of Tarim and benefit from its fountains of knowledge and wisdom. Ameen. And may it be a means to ultimately drink from the hold of Al-Kawthar in Jannah. May Allah bless us and forgive us. Alhamdulillah.